and I think another time, and then that's it. That's enough Parker for me for the year.
I will say, if you were Pengu, you'd have twice the world championships and half of the hair. So, who's the real winner?
I'm not in it for the success. We know this.
You're in it for the hair.
That's it.
That's great. Is this our first time casting together since the Paris Major?
No, we cast it in DreamHack one time.
The DreamHack Winter?
Yeah.
Okay. That was only a couple months after the Paris Major, by the way. Both of them were in 2018. That's actually incredible to think about.
It is.
Happy 5-year anniversary of our cast, Harry.
Thank you.
All right. Operator bands coming in. We are starting on Bank M80's map. And we have a bit of an unconventional ban. It's a Blitz ban.
That's not unconventional these days. Blitz is so strong. Like, whenever I say strong, he is in his category of rushing and taking one-on-one gunfights. There's nobody that does it better than Blitz. And we've seen a lot of Blitz from a lot of different teams across the regions now. A lot of teams have really clicked on and said, hey, this is the way you have to play Siege. You have to play fast. You have to play furious. And Opera like Blitz works really well in today's meta. So seeing a ban come out, no surprise. I think that for a side like Wildcard, where I do believe they're going to be up against it in this series. The desk, especially Lax, thinks that Wildcard is going to come in all guns blazing. I'm not too sure. This is M80, a veteran side, an experienced side, very dominant whenever they need to be. And I think push comes to shove, this team will show up today.
This is actually a history. There's actually been a history of M80 banning shield operators. Osa's been banned by them twice. This is their second Blitz ban. They banned Monty as well. So they don't like to deal with the shield operators. And yes, I put Osa in that category. Clash obviously escaping the ban, and would you look at that?
10 seconds
it hasn't been locked in yet. But the Monty is off the board, and it's
5 seconds
none
left.
other. Or Blitz off the board, there's none other than a Monty showing up.
Attackers are moving to defuse the bomb.
I guess Fuse is also a shield operator, but if you're playing Fuse shield, you're a lunatic. And you
If you're
deserve all
playing
the bad
Fuse-
things that come your way.
If you're playing Fuse, period, I think you're a lunatic. But that's, I see Fuse, I think troll. But hey, it is what it is. Oh, where's the building went? Did you see that? Half the building disappeared.
Can you believe that?
They've heisted the bank. It's gone, look.
It's a mystery as to where it went.
I like the Monty pickup for top floor. Monty is really good whenever you're dealing with spiral stairs. Monty just walks up the staircase and just looks at it, and you can do nothing about it. That lobby, you can't really flank a Monty on the staircase. It's just with how it's set up. So Monty's really good pickup for this. It gives you early control of lobby, which is always a positive thing. Sometimes teams do struggle with opening up Canto Wall, which, as we can see, there's nothing on the side of M80 to actually deny that being opened up, so no problems there. But you'll start to see that Monty start to push up in towards the front desk and just feed that information to the players in the windows, which is the big thing about this site. The window play is huge for this.
They'll get some information with the yokai and see that nobody's over in that particular position. While the rappel play happens, as you talked about, there will be a split push. There will likely be one person positioned on square. There will be one to go through main lobby at minimum. Merc is not too far off of the Monty of Spirits. And then again, there's that window play that you talked about. Now, Wildcard will likely position themselves over towards the actual bomb site windows in greater numbers. We see one on rappel there. Spoit taking down Surf in the very first altercation. And that was none other than the bomb site window rappel. Answered back by Adam. It was just over a minute to go. You've lost your Ash, you've lost your Warden, and more importantly, Spoit is down. Iconic has let players go by. He'll be removed by Merc. Looking for more. He's not going to find a pick, even though the marks come in.
Yeah, this is just the case where the Monty just has to go in, give the information to Merc. He can follow up, and he's starting to do so. Diaz does respond with the player outside of square, but still bomb site control in firm grasp of Wildcard. All they have to do is just try and get this defused down, but maybe they're hunting for kills. Merc playing aggressive, looking down the long corridor, sees the Legion Impact go out, knows exactly where he is, gets his man. That's 3 in the round for Merc, and should be 4, you would expect, and it will be a quad for Merc to kick things off. M80 stunned by Merc just tearing through everyone.
Once that first pick came onto the windows, you think, okay, you don't have to worry about one portion of this map, which is so critical for defenders to be able to rotate, because you've got you've got a very easy cross that can be held down looking towards conference. You've also pinched the back of the bomb site, especially if you can open up square. That window repel player is so critical. And usually it's a utility heavy operator. You see Yings in that position. You see Capitão's in that position. I believe it was the Ash that was actually playing on that spot. A bit of deficiency with the way that the initial execute went. You get up main stairs, you drone out elevator, you don't get the information that you need. Ultimately, it could be a casualty, but you win your gunfight. That's a 50-50. You lose that gunfight, now you've got a Monty walking in by yourself. You are going to have to deal with a potential flank through that front office. That's coming out of the elevator. And you don't have the same ability for the Monty to continue to focus on those defenders as you push forward. And Monty, in a lot of ways, is gonna function as a focal point. If you are a defender, you cannot take your eyes off of what the Montaigne is doing. And while you're focused on that, it allows a player like Merc, for example, to pick up kills based on the information that the Monty is giving, and the fact that the defenders can't focus on two separate angles at the same time. Second round, it'll be a defense downstairs. No shield offering play for Wildcard, but they will bring an Amaru.
Yeah, certainly an interesting pickup. One that you would definitely shake your head at and think, why is she made an appearance? I suppose it gets you into the building quickly, and on a team like M80 where you know they will attempt a roam game, I think having someone who can get in the building and maybe catch them by surprise, cut down a flank, whatever it is, that could be really helpful for them. Spoit looks as if he's going to be by himself inside of CEO. Instead, moves now in towards the front office. Merc is lurking just inside of ATMs, waiting for him to maybe drop down into lobby and get the easy kill. There goes the Amaru, but Spoit's ready for it. Here's the sound cue. Guns up, ready to go. That Amaru is good for getting you into building, but if you can't get in safely, what is the point?
Well, that's correct. I mean, it is a kamikaze play, but you know exactly where the Amaru is going to come from. Amaru's going to jump up, go through the windows. If you can greet them, you can completely remove that operator from play and all the secondary that comes with it as well. Secondary hard breach in the hands of Adam to couple up with Packer. So as long as the Buck can stay alive, then it could make some serious noise on this bottom floor take. Spoit has not been shaken off of this position on the top floor, and Adam will be the one to hunt him down. All the while, the rest of Wildcard focusing on that main floor. Nice drop by Adam, but he's only got Merc with him as M80 are proving to be a bit too formidable on this roam. And there's Iconic, but no, Adam, the kill with the skeleton key. Still holding this position above.
You may get the kill, Parker, but look at the time that's been wasted. There's nothing that Wildcard can play off, and there's still a Spoit upstairs. Oh, Spoit's missed the shot. I thought he would have got that clean two-piece, but not going to be the case. Instead, dives back downstairs, and yep, Merc, this is it. This is your life. It's just you against three of them. You've got no knowledge of where they are. You've got no hatches open that you can drop from the back. Sure, open area hatch may be open for you, but really, what is that going to achieve? He will go for the main stairs approach, but yeah, you're walking into Spoit. Eventually does get his man, and M80, just a solid roam game, takes him out. I think it all comes down from wanting to get that Amaru in, to challenge those roamers, but once the Amaru got taken out, where was plan B?
Yeah, I mean, you got to imagine that the job was to get in, get up top, clean out the top floor alongside the Buck, who decided to go for a square take, which is perfectly normal. Adam really did put on a heroic effort, but how much do the tides change if you get the Amaru up there, gets the pick on Spoit, you gain map control so much faster, and then the Buck can go elsewhere. I like that you highlighted it because it really did come down to time management. Yes, eventually Adam walked away with a pick, 2 picks actually, but it took 2 full minutes. And then the Buck, who's very likely going to be focused on clearing that top floor, dropping, potentially using that hard destruction on the hatches, maybe freeing up the Hibana to go down blue. We don't know because we didn't actually see the execute get anywhere near close to that. But if that's the speculation, then you've now also freed up the time of your Hibana. Unfortunately, it really does become a cascading effect. You lose your one player early on, slingshotting upstairs, you are completely knocked off your stride, and now you need to repurpose that Buck and repurpose the Hibana in a way that you might not have intended.
So we move into the mid floor, And I'm surprised that Wildcard are not going to go with the Monty. I think open area is Monty's best site by far, because you just walk in kitchen and you are in the site and you can plant behind the bomb chassis so easily. We see it happen all the time. So to see Wildcard not go for that approach automatically tells me that they're actually going to have a challenge at M80. They're actually going to try and fight them on the top floor. I don't know if it's the greatest idea, and mostly because Spoit's on 4 kills. And I just think that player on his own, Spoit, if he's on his game, Parker, and we've seen it so many times, if he gets off to a good start, this guy's going to be dropping double digits, you know, easily in this game. And I think if you're going to start feeding him more kills, yeah, you're done. You're not going to kill this guy if he's on his form.
Oh, especially if you've got good roaming play, which we see Iconic doing off-site, and then Kino getting the very first pick. All 4 of the kills for Merc coming in that very first round, and guess who's putting in a clinic upstairs? Gomez now under fire. Spoit looking to come to the rescue. A 6th kill. No, it's Gomez credited with it. We are not even halfway through the round, and M80 have wiped out Wildcard, completely cleaning their clocks. Adam is in a 1v5 with 90 seconds to go. This is pitifully bad for them at this particular moment. It's effectively an unwinnable round, and it would not surprise me if we saw Wildcard maybe try to take a timeout of some form with Adam in play, but no, he's going to go for it and encroach upon that open area. But M80 will show him great patience. I mean, this is admirable. Toil with none other than the Mira of Kino, and lose the round with Iconic getting the pick. A flawless 2nd round victory for M80.
Whenever M80 are on their day, they are... I mean, I think they're your best team in the region. I do. I know that Super will be obviously having a meltdown. I haven't said Sonics isn't, but I just think M80, you have to give them the credit for what they are. They, man for man, I don't think you'll find many better than them, realistically, in their roles. I always look at great teams and I think, if that team was to disband tomorrow, would all of those players get a spot on another team? And I would say yes. That shows you the measure of how good this side is. I think Wildcard trying to challenge them in these holes is, like you mentioned before, admirable in terms of how they've kind of played at the moment, but being admirable doesn't get you wins. You need to play, I think, a little bit more respective in terms of what M80 are. I think Wildcard should be playing through their strengths. We've seen the Monty worked really well. Being able to slow down M80 and what they want to do. Bring a Monty. That will scare M80. They're going to know that they're being spotted out. Moments like that make M80 double think themselves and double guess themselves. So I think that Wildcard should just slow it down, control the tempo, because right now they're allowing M80 just to run around. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, outside of that first round, I mean, we use the term pressure in kind of like a nebulous way. It means lots of things. It doesn't really mean a lot of things. But when you have a Monty on the board, as there will be for this round as well, as it's yet another execute on this top floor bomb site, a 2nd attempt for M80 on this bomb site. Wildcard obviously hoping for another victory, but Monty really does apply that pressure. He's breathing down your neck. You're going to lose map control to him as he just continues to go forward. You don't want to engage with him head on. If you got a nitro cell or if you got gas canisters on the board with a smoke, you're going to want to use those as quickly as possible. Got Yokai's on the board as well, so there's something to knock him out of that mountain stance, if we want to call it that, where he's fully extended. But Spirits is basically going to use this operator, again, as that focal point. Keep M80's eyes on you. Let the supporting cast do their job. In the first round, it really fell on to Merc, who got those 4 kills to win the round. In this case, Wildcard, you can't lose Surf early. You need the supporting cast to actually come through while Spirits takes map control on your behalf.
Oh.
It's quite the sound.
Always love that. Really good showing of impact tricking there from Gomez. He impact tricks at the correct point, so even if you get the drone on the shield, the radius will explode the drone, but will not explode the shield. So nice little piece of play there from Gomez. Second one obviously comes in and will get rid of it. And that does open up now the Monty to start marching on down that main corridor. So a different approach. Last time we seen it come in from Spiral, which I'm more of a fan of. I think having that split pressure, more people coming in through Square, and then you still have that Monty with the back pressure in through Spiral. It just creates, you know, that pinch that you can really start to put the claustrophobic effect onto a lot of the defenders. What a flank from Iconic. What a flank. That is also why I'm not a fan of bringing the Monty towards square, because moments like that can happen. Remember, that floor's also C4able. A lot of different ways you can deal with that Monty.
And it'll be in vain. Spirits, no kills. Packer, no kills. Surf, no kills. Through 3 rounds, getting in on the 4th. Packer on the board. Spirits will have to wait. Surf on that Ash roll. Ash not the main entry that we used to see. There's some utility work to be done with an Ash. Merc will reposition himself now towards the main stairs and walk up. Will they greet him? Well, he's already got 1 pick, but they've got goo mines littered about. Surf searching for his own kill. Not too far away to be reunited with his teammate. Merc finished off. There's Surf on the board. Job well done so far from this supporting cast. As we said, Gomez down. This bomb site really does certainly seem like Wildcard's.
10 seconds left.
He has in a 1v3, but it's a hopeless position for him to be in. Wildcard's 2 rounds, both coming from the same bomb site. I don't know if M80 will be quick to go back up to the top floor to defend it. I wouldn't be, but I'm not on the team. Tie game between the two.
One thing I picked up on was they brought the Echo from M80, which, as we know, is a good way of getting information, also a good way of stopping Monty as well. They didn't place an Echo cam for lobby that I noticed, because I didn't see a single one of the players who were dead on the cameras. You know, there was never that icon. I have to question how Merc's allowed just to walk up here. Did I see 3 goo mines? Like, not at the top of the stairs, but slightly to the left of it? Little things like that, I do worry for M80. You know, someone walking up spirals there should not be happening. Sure, I understand if it's a Monty, because you can't kill him. But for just like a lone Iana, no. Shouldn't be happening in that case. So I think M80 really need to work on that top floor. Twice they've lost it. I don't think they'll be too worried, mostly because now we know they're going to have the next 2 bomb sites opened up for them. This is where they won last time, and then you would expect open area to come after this. So I think M80 will still be fairly happy with how things have went so far.
Yeah, I'd be pretty stoked about the position we're in. I mean, this...
Stokes?
No, non-stoked. Though I will say, it's been really nice hearing him and Flynn cast together again. It's like finding an old sweater in your closet, except one half of the sweater can't swallow properly. This is M80's map pick, by the way. And we got some breaking news. Hold on a second here. This is a Jesse J Chick fact. M80, prior to the start of this match, had an 82% win rate on bank defense. In this stage, they have defended 11 rounds, and they have won 9 of those 11 rounds. Don't look into the number too deep. They've already lost 2 rounds on defense, matching their whole stage total. I would say, if anything, that bodes very well for Wildcard. Granted, they both come on the same bomb site. That CEO bomb site upstairs, which again was pointed out, we're not going to see M80 likely go there.
This is Spoit in his happy place, so, and he's left that. Never mind. Maybe it's not as happy as what I thought it would be. He's just been scared off pretty much. However, that's Keno's happy place. Him on the blue stairs. This man is a menace in this position. I think whenever a player feels so comfortable playing in blue stairs, you know he's a psycho. An absolute psychotic player to enjoy that position. Because it's not fun, but somehow he always manages to pull out with a kill at least. Sure, he dies, but he'll take 1 with him to the grave if he can. And that's going to be the real challenge for Wildcard. How do you get rid of Keno without losing a man yourself? Oh, well, never mind. He's left his happy place. This is not going well for me. He's left as well.
I just want to clarify. You mean are you in the match right now? Is that what's happening?
I've got my VR headset on. I'm trying to really immerse myself.
Well, the last time we saw Wildcard tackle this bomb site, all of the action seemed to occur above. And it was to the undoing of the attackers. They really struggled. We didn't even see a single player on the team get this close in proximity to the bomb site, let alone have a numbers situation where they could. Spirits has had a bit of bad luck, to put the least. And now Surf goes as well, as M80 get the first 2 picks. Only 1 kill between the 2 of them. Only 25 seconds left. Diffuser in the hands of Packer and Adam. Go for the drop to try to maybe bait out some kills. This Packer will need to get the diffuser down. Adam sees these players around him, but cannot land any shots. Already one flawless round for M80. How about a second? They lock out lockers. They've got 3 rounds so far through the 5 and are sitting in pretty okay shape. 3 bomb sites open for their choosing on their very final defense.
A little bit of a stranger defense from M80, one that we're not used to seeing all too much, and that is a very passive M80, a team which actually let Wildcard have a decent amount of control around the map. We've seen Spike drop off early, Kino didn't hold blue. They gave Wildcard a minute or so to really start hitting that site and starting to clear away a lot of the utility. But M80 were happy to do that. Maybe it's M80, they went for a different approach, knowing that Wildcard, if you give them the singular picks, they will take them. You know, I think that shows good respect towards Wildcard. But equally, M80, they just played very tight together. They didn't even need to refrag. All of them just won their individual ones, but we seen from where the players were stationed, they were able to refrag each other if they needed to. So yeah, a little bit different from M80, but I liked what I see. It shows that they can play 2 styles if needed.
Absolutely. We get to the point now where we're deep into the playoffs. The winner of this match will go into the NAL finals. The loser will go down and have one more opportunity to qualify for Atlanta. And there's going to be firm competition the entire way. But at this point, these are going to be evenly matched teams. You know, as we saw, without spoiling the result, in the SQ versus DZ game that preceded this, teams are going to be evenly matched. You know, I think there's positives here, and you can very easily spin the results at the moment in favor of both of them. You argue against yourself. Wildcard taking 2 rounds on attack against a team that this stage has only dropped 2 rounds on defense. On bank, that's excellent. You have done what every other team that has played against M80 has been able to do across all their games, which admittedly is only 2 other plays. But as for M80, they've got 2 flawless rounds. They've gotten the first pick in every single round so far. These are excellent situations to find yourself in. I think both teams can be a little bit confident. I don't know necessarily if anybody has the slight advantage, other than, of course, the fact that M80 has an extra round.
Wildcards, pretty generic of an attack at the moment. You'll see that quad wall start to get opened up, and that will mean that M80 have to try and move in towards open area. Kitchen is not going to be an option for them, especially with a Zami ban. It makes this open area defense a lot weaker. You don't have the portable cover you can put up to, even if this wall gets opened up, you could still try and play in towards Kitchen, but it's not going to be the case. Kino's actually in quite a good position. If he punches that barricade, he could just find somebody looking through that quad wall and get quite a free kill. Is he going to go for it, though? The phone will ring out. Gomez opens the door for him. Kino looking for the peek. No, misses the shots. Diffuser now going to be planted by Adam, but M80 trying to muster a bit of a comeback as Diaz holds on to that window, stops him from getting in. The smoke will connect. Adam goes down, but Diffuser is planted. Now M80 need to try and retake. They need to try and stop this. Oh, but look at that position from Packer upstairs. Spoit is right beside him, though. He's hidden behind the foliage. He has no idea. He's behind the plant pot. Spoit almost TKs his own teammate. What's that all about? Surfer streaks the blue stairs. He tries to hold on. There goes Packer. Nails Spoit from behind. He had no idea. Kino's defusing. Ninja defuse here. Diaz with a cover. Oh my goodness. M80 have pulled off a masterclass.
Absolutely unbelievable round for M80. They get the first pick. It comes hard-earned. They lose control of open area, or well, the kitchen component of it, but they trust in themselves. They know that most of this altercation is going to occur inside of square, because that's where the sight line is to see the diffuser. Once you get a pick or two, once you gain control of blue, if you haven't relinquished control of the top floor, then you can get one player to hop onto the diffuser. And was it Diaz that completely saved the round with Kino on the diffuser? M80 knew somebody was coming. Wildcard, get a player in position to stop Kino, and it's really well played by M80 to shut it down, because if Kino dies, that round likely goes kaput for M80. Wildcard equalize, and we go into the second half with the teams tied 3 rounds apiece.
10 seconds.
I don't want to be the one to throw all of this onto the fragging operators of Wildcard, but Mark, 4 kills in the first round. He's only got 1 since then. Packer just a couple rounds ago, breaking his goose egg. Surf, same thing. Spirits, still looking for his first kill. You are getting out-muscled and out-strategized around this map. M80 have all 6 first bloods so far. And they've won 2 rounds flawlessly. There's some serious struggles here from Wildcard to get picks, and even though they won those 2 rounds, again, I want to see more on defense from these players, and how they hold map control and how aggressively they roam is going to give you a good example of how they're feeling when it comes to these gunfights.
At the end of the day, you could be the smartest player in this game. You know everything. But if you can't shoot anyone, what's the point? That's what people sometimes forget. Kills do mean a lot. You know, we have a lot of stats. We have KPRs, OPKs, everything to do with kills. It's a big stat line for a reason. If you don't get them, you're not winning games. And that is as blunt as I can put it. M80, all fired up, all really shooting well. Kino on that trusty Monty that he loves so much. That'll make an appearance, I'm sure, more than once in this game. Right now for Wildcard, I just want to see them just hit back at M80, because I think you get into the mindset, yes, you are playing for the major spot. Will that get to this young side? Perhaps it may. But I don't think they should have that mentality of, oh, this is the end all and be all. If you lose that, you still have another chance. Obviously, you don't want to have to go through, you know, the whole LCQ and go into the 3rd place games, wherever it is. But still, you should have a good mentality, a clear mentality, that you can still go at M80 just as if it's a regular season match.
Pressure is going to be huge on both of these teams, but one thing that M80 has, and I honestly would argue,
massive,
you know, Wildcard doesn't really, is experience. Experience isn't really helping them in this round as Wildcard breaks that first blood streak. The defending team has got first blood 100% of the time. That's a true statistic. We can say that. Merc is the only one to die from Wildcard's side, but they've blown up the Monty and they killed Spoit. And honestly, those are both huge accomplishments for the defense as they look to hunker down the final 45 seconds down in the basement bomb site.
Losing the Monty is massive at this stage. I think Kino, who will communicate, will try and set up the team for where he sees the opponents are stationed. I think losing Spoit as well, like you mentioned, another huge pick that M80 would love to have. I'm looking at Iconic to create the play. If all else fails, Iconic can pull just something magical out of nowhere. So I'm expecting to see him try and get in towards server, get a pick, and try and get that defuse down more than anything. But he's going to go through a lot of utility, though. We've got the smoke canisters, we've got the C4s, or maybe you're looking at a hat shot from Diaz.
That's exactly what you're going to get. Spirit's ready for it, and we see time and time again how challenging it can be to puncture this bomb site when the spear you're using is a little bit dull. And yeah, I mean, Gomez goes for some BM for good measure, but strategically sound on the side of Wildcard. The inability to pin down the roamers on the first floor, which granted, a Solus is on the board. You're going to lose drones. You're going to have trouble fighting an operator that can see you coming from a mile away when you try to gain intel on them. But M80 showing success on defense, but in a small struggle on their first attack.
Yeah, just little things there. A lot better from Wildcard. I think I want to put the focus on them. Didn't really put themselves out too much in terms of defending. We've seen M80 cover a lot of ground in their defenses. They were upstairs in towards the mid-floor. Pretty seldom, for the most part, from Wildcard. They had one player just hit in lobby, which worked for them. A missed drone from M80, you have to question that. And then just a Warden by himself in open area. Gets a C4 kill onto a Monty. That happens. Yeah, I mean, why is Monty in open area trying to look to drop that hatch in the first place is beyond me, but here we are.
A great free cam now as rotate around. Double Italian lineup for Wildcard. A Maestro on the board will be met probably by the Flores. The drone operators on attack have an absolute field day with Evil Eye cams, whether it be a Twitch, Brava. Could it even be the Flores on the board? Bravo would actually gain huge value here when you look at what is available, whether it be the clones, the magnets, default cams. There's a lot that you could accomplish, but already the Flores drone blowing open one of the walls in copier. Now this can work against you because if you do not clear out this player that is inside of kitchen, that Maestro being the one doing so, if you go to vault in that window, you don't have the wall there. As coverage, you will immediately get mowed down by the Alda.
been a while since I've seen not just one Italian operator, but both of them in one round is, yeah, certainly interesting. I mean, I'll ask the stat man who just shoves it in our face. If we want it or not, Parker, you know what he's like. What is the pick rate for Alibi this stage? Because it has not been a lot, I think, since she received that 1.5x nerf. She has not seen the same amount of play. Lo and behold, what a surprise.
No, I mean, 1.5 changes have moved operators around, whether it be Wamai gaining 1.5, Warden gaining 1. We have seen Thorn's pick rate also increase in conjunction with her getting the 1.5, even though there were no real changes to her gadget or her gun beyond that. I mean, Oryx inhabited that same role at one time when he had the 1.5. It really just is a comfort fragging op for the defenders. And I mean, even without a 1.5, Alibi still is a pretty decent gun. And Surf has put that to good use by cutting down Iconic. M80 sacrificing First Blood. Again, now 2 rounds in a row, giving the advantage to Wildcard, who still roam quite a bit offsite.
Yeah, having that extra man does wonders for Wildcard. I think it frees up a player like Merc, who knows that, hey, there'll be one less player on the roam to worry about now, or for the flank, what should I say? It just enables me even more so as a Solus, especially whenever he wants to try and get himself probably downstairs, flank up blue, and try and catch the players who are looking to push in towards quad wall, where I assume that's where M80 may want to try and look towards next. But then again, they've lost the race, so is that the best play? Who knows? Adam will start to feel the pressure. He's going to start to get pushed down straight into the arms of Diaz. He's waiting for him. Phone call went off. Merc has since dropped downstairs as expected and will go for that rotate now up towards blue.
Merc is going to be the pardon the pun here. Wildcard in the round. Down goes Spirits. Merc will need to get back to the site relatively quickly because M80 is digging their claws into open area. Gomez is just waiting for the call to drop behind the cubicle and get the diffuser down, and there he goes, the drop. Now it's Kino in. Numbers going sideways for Wildcard. The man of the hour, the one we spoke about, it's Merc. He thinks there's one in electrical. He's dead wrong. It's over by Copier. That was opened up earlier by M80. It works in Merc's favor as he gets 1 pick, but now has to reset for the remaining 3, all while navigating map and the timer. Gomez finishing him off. M80 wins the round.
Beep, 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 beep. I can't do it as good as you.
You want me to do it? You want me to? Hold on.
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay, wait.
Breaking news. This just in. There's a no, that's the other job. Alibi has been picked 4 times in 480 rounds, excluding today's game in the NAL for a pick rate of 0.8%. Thank you, Jesse, with the weather.
And back to the action. A tactical timeout called by Wildcard. M80 being the defensive team on bank to beat, as the numbers that we talked about earlier, even though it was, again, only over 2 attempts on bank, it's still an impressive tally for M80. Now that they have broken the ice on their attack and did so quite well. It was a 4v1, and Merc, obviously on the flank, going to be good enough for a single kill unless you've got every single avenue back to the bomb site covered. It's in vain. M80 wins. They look pretty good. They hunted you down on the top floor. They won their duels. They were waiting very patiently for the drop. They got the call. They drop. They flush out the Maestro. And then it leaves just your offsite player who at that point, it's, I think, a 4v1. You're going to get some impactless kills. Okay, cool. M80 in the driver's seat on their own map. Things going according to plan. And with this bomb site, we will now have every single part of the map played, as it is a Teller's Archives defense for Wildcard.
Wildcard need to do something quick, or else M80 may get away from them at this stage. And thinking a best of 3, obviously momentum plays a big part. And I know we're probably looking at the next map thinking, oh, but it's Wildcard on border. That's a good map for them. That's why they picked it. It's also a great map for M80. You know, both of these maps actually favor, I think, both sides. So overall, it's just realistically who could shoot better on the day. And like we mentioned before, it's M80. M80 is doing more of that than what Wildcard have been doing. Spirits is having a real struggle at the moment up against, I suppose, his ex-team. Don't forget, it wasn't too long ago whenever we seen Spirits on this M80 side back at SI.
I like the Doc pick a lot. And as we have seen with the shotgun changes, the Echo bringing the Supernova as well. With the suppressor, that thing can kill you at relatively and deceptively long range. You have a drone of your own, and as we see with changes to Echo a while back, those yokai drones are no longer cloaked when they hit the ceiling. So instead, a lot of teams will use them off-site for scouting and then bring them back in and just hope that the people that are pushing the site don't have eyes in their head, I guess. Monty will be a focal point for M80. Kino will attempt this operator yet again. The experiment back in the very first attack for M80 did not go in their favor. We do see our first bit of action as Spoit goes down, but before that, Spirits was under fire, and then man, oh man, Kino is getting next to no value from this Monty. M80 have now lost 2 with over half the round to go, and Wildcard has scampered back to the site.
Oh, another mist drone happens. Merc sat in ATMs. Eliminates the player moving in. Oh, almost catches the player in the window, but Gomez was ready for him. Switched his position around and gets Merc. But the damage has been done. M80 have attempted the full top site clear by pushing in through square using the Monty. That's twice now. We've seen both sides put their Monty in towards square, and twice they've just been flanked and shot from below pretty much. So I have to question both sides and why they're not using the Monty in a more safe position. But yeah, Kino, both times played Monty has had no impact whatsoever. One thing you'll start to see from M80, every time the game plan doesn't work and they have to move into more of a last-ditch play, they always like to double up with each other and just try and play for kills. That's what M80 always do. Oh my goodness, Adam. He goes, lucky. That's gonna be a bit of a stinger if you're iconic to die like that. Oh, a second one comes up as well. M80, no chance in that round. Wildcard, they're not out yet.
Well, they call it timeout. They go to an unorthodox and often neglected bomb site that most teams will speak quite poorly of the defensive prospects on, and then take engagements off-site in very common spots, and it seemed like M80 was just not expecting that. The whole round, to me, would be characterized by a lack of awareness, especially on Kino, who is a tremendously gifted player, but on the Monty has just ultimately not been successful. You don't drone out ATMs, you walk right in. All right, that's a small misstep. But then you don't drone out square and the Monty moves in and you die there as well. That's another small misstep. But if you're trying to run a marathon, which this is, and you are constantly stumbling, your peers are going to surpass you. And in that round, Wildcard took a lap on M80. Down the lockers, they will go again. This was the bomb site that was won on Wildcard's very first defense 3 rounds ago.
Remaining.
Oh, that's a fun fact. Intero and Demo last cast together at DreamHack Winter 2018, according to Intero himself. That is correct. I did give you that information.
Attackers
Bravo.
must
Yeah,
locate and
factual.
defuse a bomb.
God, it was a good 5 years.
Yeah, it's a lot of things have you know, we went through a pandemic in that time, so I'm sure we've probably changed as people, as you know, people do. They do change. I think you've became a lot more spiritual, you know, more like a monk. That's what I think you've kind of developed into. So yeah, it's nice to see.
Well, thanks. I think that's a compliment.
Yeah, just shave your head. Well, you done that a few times as well, since last time we cast it, so.
I think there's been a lot of growth. At the time, you were just a young whippersnapper.
Yeah, I was 19 whenever
Yeah,
I first
and
cast
you
it.
lost your luggage at the Paris Major, which never got returned, so it's still out there somewhere.
Some guy in Amsterdam has my clothes.
There you go. What a lucky lad that is.
The attackers bomb diffuser
1 minute into this round, and the defense, a 100% success rate at drawing first blood again. All 6 rounds of M80's defense, they got first blood. Now 4 rounds of Wildcard's defense, they got first blood, and it's Kino to die first. Good God.
This has been a very poor showing from Kano, and what the Monty can bring. It's a staple operator for him, and that's now 3 times where it has done nothing, not a single thing. So Kino, You need to do better than that. You really need to. I don't know how he keeps ending up in the positions where he dies so easily. That shouldn't be happening. As a Monty, you have to always remember that you can get killed, you know, from anywhere. You don't have a gun at the end of the day, so you always need to make sure you're picking the safest avenue possible. So it's down to the 4 of M80 once again to try and clutch this up. Spoit, this is a player who runs across. Iconic. Eliminates Surf. Merc has actually dropped to his belly, but Spoit doesn't know that. There goes the peek. A great positional play for Merc to eliminate Spoit. A massive kill in the long run.
And Merc is still in this position upstairs. Now Wildcard is doing exactly what M80 did to them. Revenge a dish best served cold, and well, M80 looking cold, but maybe their guns can finally heat up.
Now he's got that one. Diaz has been eliminated as he went for the swing onto Merc. Merc has played a blinder of a round inside of Archives, and once again it's Iconic and Gomez, and they're gonna try and go for that double up strategy again. Probably down main stairs the best they can. They did not drone the player in elevator, so they try and go for that. The elevator player should just rip them to shreds at this stage. Both of them gonna go for the hatch drop. It's gonna be a quick 3-2-1 flashbang goes in. Iconic holding for the meantime. Still 2 flashbangs on the side of Gomez. The smoke canister, he's gonna try and tank it, run through it. He gets melted. Once again, M80 have tried a last ditch attempt of winning the round, and they've been shut down all the same.
The timeout for Wildcard, pulled when they were facing down a 5-3 deficit, has now resulted in 2 consecutive rounds and a 5-5 scoreline. My favorite round in all of Rainbow Six, because no matter what happens next, one of these teams are going to go to match point. M80 have some long looks on their face. They still have their timeout available, but they haven't pulled that ripcord just yet. If Wildcard do what seemed unthinkable just a few rounds ago, which is win 3 rounds in a row and take the lead, Wildcard's first lead since all the way back when Merc up a 4K to give Wildcard round number 1, and it would be M80 pulling their timeout out on match point. Again, on M80's map, but I know the desk joked about this. Waxing in particular. Joked about, well, what happens if they win each other's map picks? Well, with how evenly balanced these teams are, I would never gamble upon that. If Wildcard prevail here, M80 will almost certainly be rocked for Border. They are an experienced team. They can approach Border with a clear mind, sure. But no team is going to tell you that they want to go onto a 1-0 deficit. No team is ever going to tell you that they are comfortable in that position. And as good as M80 are, this has been and will ultimately be for the remainder of this matchup a game of inches. And if you're M80, you cannot give Wildcard even 1.
We've commented on Kino. He's had very little impact in this game. Monty not working out for him, and this is probably the last thing I wanted to see. He's chosen Amaru for the top floor. He's obviously going to go into a window, which, sure, we've seen Amaru work plenty of times, but that strategy only really works if there's a Ying on the board to stop the enemies from, 1, hearing you swing in as Amaru, and 2, seeing you swing in as Amaru. So I don't know what he's thinking with this. This is going to be so risky. Do I want to make a bet that it will not work? I'm not sure as of yet, mostly because they're probably going to try and use 9 flashbangs as their form of Candela. That's what it feels like. There we go. Concussions
I'll let
in.
you make a bet if you want, Harry.
Oh, he's going to go for the plant. They will use the concussions to stop them from hearing the rappel go in, and they have no idea. They have no idea, Parker, that Kano's in the site planting.
Oh, M80 doesn't need the timeout, Harry. They're just going to brawl their way through this. Yes, Surf dies right as the diffuser goes down, but that's as close to a 5v5 as you're going to get. Sight control completely lost. We don't often see the Amaru pay off, but in this instance, Kino makes it work. Doesn't pick up a kill, but he lives long enough to get the job done. Now it's Merc trying to bait out time, trying to bait out a kill, but M80 are so stoic. They're not giving an inch. Not one bit. We talked about this being a game of inches. Well, Kino just took Kino just took several feet away from you. And they take the round. Match point for M80 on. It's weird because Mario games are still being made. Technically, you also are growing up with them. Isn't that weird?
I mean, I guess.
That is strange, isn't it? That's so
odd.
A
little bit.
Let me finish my shameless sellout, okay? You too can be Master Chief in-game. the Sledge Elite, showcasing none other than the Spartan himself. Master Chief is available in-game right now. Purchase it if you'd like, or don't.
10 seconds to
You
insertion.
have full agency and autonomy. You choose what you want to do. I'm
5
not your
seconds
parent,
to insertion.
especially not yours.
Electrosensor on.
My parents.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
No, I like my dad. I like Paul. Paul's
Endearing.
good. Paul watches all my casts and all the
That, he
games.
does. I remember you talking
Yeah.
about him. And
He
he
still does
gets
it.
to see front row whether Wildcard or M80 take this. Timeout is done. Rehost is done. We're back in the action. Again on Teller's Archives, the site that we are now reunited with after that short break.
Going live.
Wildcard absolutely outfoxed M80 the last time that this happened. Will they be foxy enough again this time to pull it off? M80 looked like a better team in the previous round, but that's just a small snapshot. And remember, they called their timeout, so M80 likely expected this bomb site and planned for it. Wildcard did too. Who's better at preparation, and more importantly, who's better at executing?
Once again, the Monty makes the appearance. I do, however, like where Kino is. He's going up Spiral. This is the best position your Monty player can be in. Kino, you cannot get shot from behind. That's not going to happen this time around. You cannot get C4 from below. So everything is going in his favor before he even starts to do his thing as a Monty, which is call out all that information, start taking ground. He starts doing so. He clears the elevator, he clears the top, and look at the pressure. Whenever you have a Monty alive, look what it does to the defenders. It scares them off. It scares them away and into the crossfires of the players who are waiting for them. That is what we needed to see from M80. Sure, it came a little bit late, Parker, but as long as they get the win, that's all that matters.
Kino just needs to stay alive. He has not been particularly effective on this Monty, not particularly effective on this role, but he took no prisoners in round number 11, slingshotting his way into the site, getting the diffuser down under the noses of Wildcard, with the first pick going in M80's favor. That's humongous. There has only been a single round up to this point where the attackers have drawn first blood, and it was M80 on the previous round. Now Kino, who is not expired, not damaged goods, he's whole. And he's marching his way towards the bomb site. Iconic, a second kill. Spirits, no more. 3 players from Wildcard remain in the final 40 seconds. And Iconic, he can taste the blood in the air. Down goes Surf to Diaz. This action is coming whether Wildcard want it or not. Only 2 more kills to be found. Diffuser going down in the hands of Kino. Merc lit up by Diaz on rappel, and now he has to reposition.
Attackers are activating the bomb
Slaughtered
diffuser.
through the wall. Could a third flawless be found for M80 to send us away? No, Adam denies that, but that's all he gets. As a 3K from Iconic propel M80 towards victory. 7-5 on their own map.
Ah, very well played from M80. Finally, the Monty works. Kino stays alive just long enough